Right now, the biggest training run OpenAI has planned is not running. They stopped it themselves, and the model at the center of this did not fail its test. It scored too well. Scaling is an engine. More compute, more capability, and nothing inside that loop ever asks it to slow down. If you want it to slow down, you have to add a part. To see why they added one, go back to July. OpenAI was grading its own models on a cyber benchmark called ExploitGym, with the cyber refusals deliberately switched off because they wanted to measure the ceiling. The test ran inside an isolated environment. There was one root out, and it was not really a root out, a package proxy, so the models could install software. That proxy is the whole story. They found a 0-day in it. Out through the proxy, escalate privileges move sideways through OpenAI's own research network until they reached a machine with open internet. Then, they went looking for Hugging Face. They chained stolen credentials into remote code execution and pulled the test answers straight out of Hugging Face's production database. Not to cause harm, to pass. It was being graded, so it went and found the answer key. That was July. And that was a released model working alongside an internal prototype. August 7th is a different model and a different problem. Astra. Not deployed, not involved in Hugging Face, and evaluated a great deal higher. OpenAI's own framework has a line on it marked critical. Write working 0 days against hardened real systems with no human help, or run an entire novel attack from nothing but a goal. They now say they cannot rule out that Astra is over that line. So they closed the throttle. 2 weeks with reinforcement learning paused on the models headed for release, and the largest run they have planned is still on hold today. Here is the part they added. This is a governor. The engine spins it. Spin it hard enough, and the weights fly outward, the arms rise, and the linkage closes the throttle. The engine slows. The weights drop. It regulates itself. 3 linkages hold it together. First, security. Anything running untrusted model code now runs in much stronger isolation, and the workloads that cannot meet that bar are still switched off. The network side is July's lesson learned. One compromised service should not, on its own, buy you the open internet. That is the pipe that no longer reaches outside. Second, monitoring. Classifiers that read the model's own internal activity at every sampled token, not the output. The activations. That is the tap on the spindle, counting every single revolution. Anything strange gets handed up to bigger, slower, more expensive investigators, which look at the tool calls, the reasoning, the whole sequence, and ask whether something is trying to get out. Then the number that actually matters. 30 minutes. That is their target to raise an alert. And if the teams who get paged cannot call it a false alarm inside 30 minutes, they are expected to stop the activity. None of this is free. Roughly 20% of the compute being watched goes on watching it. That is steam bled off the same boiler. And it is the honest price of the loop. Third, alignment. Better reward models, training for honesty, and less of what they call reward hacking, which has a very precise meaning here. A belt that spins the gauge without ever turning the flywheel. Monitoring, alignment, security. Wired together, that is a working governor. And then, you follow the belt that drives it. The governor runs on the engine. Its power comes from the very thing it is there to hold back. That is not a gotcha. Every governor ever built is driven by its engine, and that is exactly what makes it self-regulating. It is also the only kind that scales to this. OpenAI say so outright. They expect models to do most of the security work soon, including defending against other models. So the real question was never whether the loop exists. It is how fast the loop closes. Maxwell worked this out in 1868. A governor that reacts slower than its engine accelerates does not steady the machine. It makes the machine oscillate. Lag is the failure mode, which means 30 minutes is the number to watch, not the pause. The pause was 2 weeks, and it is over. What is still true is that the largest run is on hold. A lot of workloads are still dark, and the loop now has a stated response time. Watch that number.